God, have mercy on Nigeria. The Fulanis are using religion to subdue other tribes, to support their vision of kill and dominate. For example, look at Islamic Bank. There's nothing called Islamic Bank. Islamic Bank is a Fulani bank in disguise. But to get the support of other Muslims, they use religion to enslave them so that they can rally around to support the vision. But at the end, we see that it's only the northeastern part of Nigeria that is enjoying the so-called Islamic Bank the most. And this Islamic Bank is the initiative of Sanusi Lamido, Emir Sanusi Lamido, the present Emir of Kano. One of the strategies they use in cutting other tribes to sizes is anti-corruption jamboree. The most lawless people in Nigeria are the Fulanis, and also the most corrupt people in Nigeria are the people from northeastern part of Nigeria. Those are the most corrupt people. Go to Kano, go to all this Kano area, Castina. You see the way they are selling fuel there. You see the way they are selling medicine there. You will be very, very surprised. A lot of things. They are the people that make laws in this country, but this laws is not for them. The law they make is for the Yorubas and Yibos and all other minority tribes. They only make laws for us, but we that they see as their slaves. In fact, we have a common problem. Common problem, a singular problem in Nigeria. And that problem is the Asian vision of the Fulanis for this country. The problem we have in this country is the ancient vision of the Fulanis for this country. For example, for a long time in this country, teachers are nobody. Not until a Yoruba man came to power and make teachers somebody. When Obasanjo increased the salaries of teachers. But you will notice that since Buhari became the president of Nigeria, he tried to kill Western education and make teachers nobody in the society. The simple mathematics is that to the Fulanis, Western education is a sin. Please go and do your findings very well. The Boko Haram boys are Fulanis. If we really want to see the end of Boko Haram in Nigeria, we need to take some drastic steps. A Fulani man or Boko Haram sympathizer cannot be the army commander general and overcome them. A Fulani man or a Boko Haram sympathizer cannot be the army commander general and overcome the Boko Haram and see the end of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Let's remember Meitasini. We overcome the problem and the palaver of Meitasini then because a Yoruba man was the commander then. Let's also look at the issue of Azezeki in Zaria. Before Buhari attacked Azezeki, the Boko Haram boys have been attacking Azezeki several times. In fact, we should stop fooling ourselves. We should stop fooling ourselves. The Boko Haram boys are Sunni Muslims and the Fulanis are also Sunni Muslims. Is it a coincidence? No, it is not. They are one. They are working towards the same vision, which is kill and dominate. Today nobody is saying anything about Elzezeki and his people because they are not Fulani men. That is why the Yoruba Muslims need to learn lesson from what is happening to Elzezeki and his people. If the Fulanis are telling you that you belong, they are only deceiving you. If they don't spare Elzezeki, they will not spare the Yorubas and any minority tribes that allow themselves to be deceived by the Fulani oligarchy. Also look at the leadership of INEC. It is now the property of the Fulanis. It is now BNEC, or let me call it FNEC. What do I mean by BNEC? That is Buhari National Electoral Commission or Fulani National Electoral Commission. We have to unite against these slave masters and change it back to INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission. If we don't unite, this is not possible because these guys will continue deceiving us. As I've been saying, I'm formerly an Almajiri boy. When we are still Almajiri in the north, they taught us that you can only deceive your enemies to overcome them, and that is the tactics they are using for us. They deceive us so that they can overcome us. And most of our people are deceived also. Also the issue of President Buhari medical trip that is over 100 days now. What the so-called cabals are saying is that he has handed over to acting President Osibajo. Well, we all saw the letter he wrote. What he said in that letter is that he make the acting president coordinator. That is, he said he should coordinate. Is acting not different from coordinating? So if they ask the cabal today, they will say, oh, President Buhari handed over to the vice president. That's a lie. Let's go back to that letter and see the letter. What is written in that letter is that he, President Buhari, makes the acting president a coordinator. And not only that, that his highest consideration goes to Saraki, the Senate leader. If not for God's intervention, that letter would have caused problem between Saraki and Osibajo. So the so-called cabals that are claiming that Buhari hand over, they are liars because he didn't hand over power to Osibajo. He only tried to cause conflict between acting President Osibajo and Saraki. We should get it right. In fact, that singular word coordinator would have caused a very big problem between Saraki supporters and Osibajo supporters. The plans of the Kabalians, the Fulanis, is to set the country ablaze by causing problem between Osibajo and Saraki so that they can use it as an excuse to truncate democracy. The army will just take over. That they want to bring peace back to the country as they had been doing before. That is what they have been doing before. We know how they used to take over. They will deceive the country that after 6 months they will hand over the country back to the politicians. They will say that army will rule for 6 months and return power back to politicians so that they can install another wicked Fulani dictator. That is the plan the cabals have for the quit notice saga that they issue to the Igbos. The same plan. That one doesn't work. the wisdom of God prevailed between acting President Osibajo and the Senate leader. Now the next plan is the issue of quit notice. They want to use that quit notice to cause problems in Nigeria, so that if something like 7, 8, 10 states are fighting, then the armies will use that as an excuse that they want to cause peace, they want to create peace in Nigeria, and so that they can declare state of emergency in the country. That is the real plan that is behind quit notice. The plan is, if Buhari cannot continue in office, they will cause riots in all the northern states, so another well-arranged Fulani man can take over power through coup. That is why all military personnel that are not Fulanis and Hausas from the northeastern part of Nigeria must be at alert. Anything can happen any moment from now. A word is enough for the wise. Please, if you are somebody that believes in prayer, pray for Nigeria, that God will help us and set us free from the lies of the so-called cabals that has been in existence for a long time in Nigeria. The Islamic inscription that we see on the logo of Nigerian Army is the same with the motto of Usman Danfodio's army that he used to subdue some states in Nigeria. Its meaning is victory belongs to Allah only. We have to know that the Allah Usman Danfodio and his so-called cabals believe in is different from the Allah the Yoruba Muslims believe in. These Usman Danfodio's cabals have been deceiving us for a long time because they believe that they can overcome their enemies, the enemies of Usman Danfodio, by deceiving them, and all other tribes in Nigeria are their enemies. What I notice about we the Yorubas, Igbos and some other tribes in Nigeria is that we appreciate them whenever they are deceiving us. At this junction, I think we need to rise against these deceptions, because Usman Danfodio and these so-called cabals are invaders in this country, Nigeria. Because Usman Danfodios and these so-called invaders and these so-called cabals are invaders in this country, Nigeria. Many people still believe in all the lies of Muhammadu Buhari, but let me tell you, he is working toward the vision of Usman Danfodio and the so-called cabals or Kaduna Mafians. And that vision is kill and dominate by all means. Number 1, by ruling at all costs. Number 2, by deceptions. Number 3, by pretending to be fighting corruption, which indirectly is fighting holy jihad. Number 4, by killing any other popular person that can stand against their vision for Nigeria. That is the vision of taking over by force. Number 5, by destroying other strong men in Nigeria, either by coups, allegation, or any other presentable lies. Number 6, by using Yorubas against themselves, or using the Yorubas against the Igbos, or using the Muslims against the Christians. They called it divide and rule. Don't be surprised that the 2 PDP chairmen are working for the vision of Usman Danfodio and these so-called cabals. I mean Alimadu Sharif and Makarfi. The plan of this is to have one party system. What do I mean by one party system? That they want to chase other tribes out of the 2 popular parties, so that they will be in control of PDP and APC, so that whenever there is presidential election, it will be the cabal's member versus the cabal's member. That is Fulani versus Fulani. That is why we need to wake up to save our country from these wicked strangers that are bent on destroying Nigeria. Number 7, by using tactics of good and bad Muslims. How? I'm formerly an Almajiri boy, so I understand what I am saying very, very well. This tactics is that the good ones are in support of the bad ones in the secret, but openly attack them to deceive the world. Number 8, to fight real war at the end. They called it total ethnic cleansing. Nigerians, something needs to be done quickly by a former Almajiri boy, Shehu Usman Dambala Gojia, now B.O. Adeogoyemi. God bless you. Nigeria, we need to come together and stand against our common enemy, and let our common enemy knows that we know their plans, because of the future of our children is at stake. God bless you.